What's up, guys? Third War. I haven't made a video for like a week now. I kind of got lazy. I'm not going to be releasing them every day now, but I'm going to try and keep up with it. So, yeah. So today is about the Federal Reserve and why we need to end the Fed, alright? I'm not an expert on this. I don't know too much on economics, but the stuff that I do know is fact, which I'm going to tell you about. This is a very deep subject that I encourage you to research more on. I'm just giving you a foundation like I do with the rest of my videos. So there's a lot more to this than what I'm saying right now, alright? So basically, I'm just going to sum it up real quick. The Federal Reserve basically, they basically give us our money, alright? And so what they do is, say they give us $1, they charge interest on that dollar. And let's just hypothetically say that they give us $1 and they want $2 back because they want $1 in interest, right? Now, if they're the only person we're getting money from, it's absolutely impossible for us to get out of debt with them. So, let me make this a little easier to understand. They give us $50, alright? And then they expect $100 back because they want $50 interest. If they're the only person that's printing our money and giving us our money, how can we ever pay them back if they're the ones that print all our money? Does that make any sense? Like, they give us $50, we only have $50, but they want $100 back. But we have nowhere else to get that other $50 to pay back $100 because we only have $50 from them. So, basically, the system they created is a downward spiral, which eventually is guaranteed to crash, without a doubt. It's impossible for it not to crash because it's specifically designed to crash. So yeah, I mean, they loan all this money to America, and then with interest, that it's virtually impossible to pay back. All right, so that's number one. Number two is it's a private institution. It's not federally owned, like most people will think it is. Just because it says Federal Reserve, they think because it has the word federal in there that it's federally owned. But I just look at FedEx, Federal Express. That's privately owned. Even though it has the word federal in it, doesn't mean it's owned by the government, you know what I'm saying? So, that's something to keep in mind. Now something else, economic disaster, which is inevitable because, like I said, it's a downward spiral, which is going to eventually collapse. So, say there's an economic disaster, which there will be soon enough, they can call martial law. Martial law means that basically they take away all rights, it becomes a dictatorship. They could send you to FEMA camps, which I made another video about. By the way, I'm really tired right now. You can probably tell, I'm like all dead right now. But yeah, they could send you to FEMA camps, which is no good. I got another video on that, which you should definitely watch. And every time they print money, they devalue the currency because the more money that's in circulation, the less each dollar is worth. I mean, that also adds to the downward spiral because all you gotta do is keep throwing money in the system, and then your dollar becomes not a dollar anymore. Then it only becomes worth 70 cents, and 60 cents, 50 cents, until it's nothing. Now there's also, I don't know exactly how the process works. I've read it before, and I always have a problem understanding it for some reason. But basically, they can make either 10 times or 100 times more. Like, you say you put in a check of $100, they can somehow extract like $1,000 out of that $100 that you put in. Out of midair, they could just make $1,000 appear through some process of, like, you deposit your check, and then they do something weird where they take it out and invest 10% of it into something else. I don't know exactly how the process works. Some of you watching this might know. And those of you who've never heard of that, once you start researching the Federal Reserve, you'll come across it because that's a common, one of the common things that people talk about when it comes to the Federal Reserve. What's another thing? Rockefellers, Rothschilds, all these people involved with central banking, they, like I said, I don't know in extreme amounts about this. I do know the basics. But, I mean, the Great Depression was engineered, without a doubt. And if I remember right, the way that they did it was they basically sent out a rumor that all the banks were collapsing, and so everybody pulled all their money from the banks and then the banks did collapse because everybody took their money out of it, out of panic, because they didn't want the banks to collapse and lose all their money. So they withdrew all their money. The banks did collapse, and then the elite bankers basically walked in and bought all these banks dirt cheap because they were collapsed. And so they came in, they bought them extremely cheap, and then basically they had a monopoly on the banking industry. There was also something, how did it work? I forgot. I don't know if it was Napoleon. I'm not even going to get into that. But basically, it's just another scam. I don't remember it exactly, so I'm not going to repeat it because I might get it wrong. But yeah, basically, it's all a scam. We got to end the Fed. That's why I'm saying vote Ron Paul. I understand some people, I don't understand why some people don't like Ron Paul, but I do understand that there are people that don't like him for whatever reason. And I mean, no matter what, I think I really should be voted for Ron Paul, because all these other presidents are puppets that have no intention of ending the Federal Reserve. Ron Paul is one of the guys that does want to end them. If you see signs saying "End the Fed," that means end the Federal Reserve. Also, IRS is tied in with the Federal Reserve. Income tax is completely illegal. If I remember right, basically corporations are the only ones that are supposed to be making income. Regular citizens like us don't make income. Technically, like by law, it's, what we make isn't called income. I forget what it's called, but it's not called income. And so only corporations are supposed to be charged that tax. I don't know if it's legal for corporations, but I'm pretty sure it is, but I might be wrong. But basically, humans are, us regular citizens, aren't supposed to be getting charged income tax. It's completely illegal, not constitutional at all, and that's another thing that'll end if Ron Paul wins, because it's not how America's supposed to be run. So yeah, end the Fed, do your research on the Federal Reserve, because there's a lot more that I'm not mentioning in this video. Yeah, you'll be shocked at what you find out. I mean, it's a complete scam. These people are destroying our country. Central banking system is something all founding fathers warned against. Basically, anybody who knows anything about anything in politics since America's creation basically warned us not to mess around with central banking, because it's pretty much known for just destroying countries. So yeah, look it up, Federal Reserve. Find out how the IRS is illegal, and spread the knowledge. Third War. Click the link up here, check out my songs. That's it. Peace.